Have you received an overpayment letter from the Social Security Administration? Are you on SSDI benefits and have been informed that you owe thousands of dollars in overpayment that you're supposed to pay in 30 days? Has the Social Security Administration threatened to take your future SSDI payments until your overpayment is completely paid off? Well, in this post, I'm going to explain the options you have to address this overpayment issue, including how to file an appeal or even request a waiver so that all the overpayment debt will be canceled. Hello and welcome. If you're new to this channel, I want to urge you to hit the subscribe button. This entire channel is dedicated to providing you up to date information and news on Social Security and disability benefits, anything that is coming in and out of Congress that may affect your benefit. We want to be the first to bring it to you. So let's get right into it. So here are the things I want to cover regarding SSDI overpayments. I want to talk about what overpayments are and how do they come about. And then I want to talk about how the Social Security Administration handles overpayment. And then I want to share 4 nightmare stories with you about other people that have received these letters and how enormous these amounts are and how impossible they are for people to be able to pay. And then I'll share 3 options that are available to you today to address and resolve your overpayment letter with the Social Security Administration. And then I want to talk about what to do if your appeal or your waiver request are denied by the Social Security Administration. So let's get right into it. What is overpayment? What is SSDI overpayment? Well, an overpayment happens when you receive more money for a month than the amount you should have been paid by the Social Security Administration. So the amount of your overpayment then is the difference between the amount you received and then amount that you were due. So if you've been receiving an overpayment for a long period of time, typically what happens is that people will get these overpayment letters and they will realize that they've been getting overpaid for months and even years. And then the Social Security is calculating this amount from the time they realize that they started overpaying you. And so before you know it, you're owing thousands and thousands of dollars in overpayment as a result. And typically, what happens is that the Social Security Administration will send you a letter. And this letter is the source of anxiety for a lot of people because a lot of people receiving these letters are on disability benefits or they are seniors on fixed income. And the letter is threatening because it comes with consequences of what will happen if you do not pay. If you're on SSDI benefits, they may threaten to take your future benefits payments until the overpayment is cleared. Or they may even say they will take portions of your payment going forward until you've totally finished paying this overpayment. And that for some people is something they cannot afford, given how their financial situation is already stretched and now they are being asked to forfeit their future payments or forfeit a portion of it. So, according to the Kaiser Family Foundation Health News, which did a recent report about Social Security overpayments, about 7% of Social Security disability benefits were overpayments, which is a big deal. And so, if you think about it, 7% of all disability benefits that are sent out by the Social Security Administration involve some form of overpayment. That's a big number. And that's why a lot of people are so affected by this, and people are receiving letters constantly that they have been overpaid and have received benefits they shouldn't have in terms of amount. So I'm going to share one story with you of a lady called Lori Corcoran in Pennsylvania and her devastating story about finding out that she owed $27,000 in overpayment and what she has been doing about it. So, overpayment happens typically with SSDI beneficiaries because people start working and they are on the trial work program, ticket to work, and they are not reporting the amounts they are making correctly because you're supposed to record this amount to the Social Security Administration so that they can adjust your payments accordingly. So, but people don't do that or forget to do that or don't know they should be doing that. And so that's how they end up in this situation. Or you may be convicted of a criminal offense, and that may affect your future benefits. So when they find out that you have been convicted of a crime, then they then want the money that they've paid you back. So how does the Social Security Administration handle overpayments? Well, they are going to send you a letter, and then they're going to give you options. If you're on SSDI, typically they're taking your future benefits if you don't pay what you owe in full within 30 days. If you're on SSI benefits, they usually take 10% withholding of your SSI benefits until you pay your overpayment in full. So, how this is handled is different with SSI and SSDI, but the concept is the same. A portion or all of your benefits will be taken until your overpayment is paid if you don't pay what you owe within 30 days. The Social Security Administration also has other tools that they use to collect these benefits. They can intercept your tax refunds. They can garnish your wages if you're working and you're on Social Security or disability. They can garnish your wages. Basically, they have all these tools to be able to collect their money. And because of these practices, they are getting a lot of heat because the Kaiser Family Foundation Health News Network and the Cox Media Group did an investigative reporting that found that the Social Security Administration had collected $4.7 billion in overpayments in 2022, but still people owe 21.6 billion in overpayments that is still uncollected as of 2022. So if you've been receiving these letters, it's because there's a lot of money that is owed that has not still been paid yet. So here are 4 horror stories that we have discovered and found to share with you. The first one is out of Georgia. This person was given a letter, sent a letter by Social Security Administration that they owe $30,000 in overpayments. And their monthly Social Security disability, and this is for their child's monthly Social Security disability payments, went from $900 to just $150. So, as I mentioned, the Social Security Administration can reduce your payments. And this is an example of how that happens. The next story comes out of Ohio, where this person who was on Social Security disability was received a letter that her niece, the guardian, she's like, the person's a guardian, and her niece who is receiving the benefits was paid $60,000 in overpayments. So $60,000 that needs to be paid in 30 days. Another story out of Texas, this woman received a letter where she owed $41,000, $41,514 in overpayment that she needs to pay back in 30 days or face the consequences of getting all or part of her benefits garnished. And then this is the story out of Florida where somebody owed $12,000, $12,000, and she received 2 letters, one for 10,429 and then another for $12,054. So as you can see, these are crazy stories where people are getting these letters to pay these gigantic amounts of money for people who are on fixed income or disability benefits that are receiving monthly payments that are small to begin with and then are getting hit with these huge amounts. And there's another in this particular story that this Lori lady that I'm talking about, she received a letter from the SSA asking her to pay $121,000 in 30 days. Who has $121,000 sitting around to pay in 30 days? If you are in low income or middle class, who has that kind of money sitting around to pay in 30 days? So this has caused a lot of stress for a lot of people. So how do you fix overpayments? Well, you have 3 options. The first is to pay it in 30 days. If you agree with what they're saying, you agree that you owe the money that they say you owe, you can pay it in 30 days, you can appeal the amount in 60 days, or you can request a waiver. So if you want to pay it in full, you can go to the Social Security website and you can pay it online on the pay.gov website, or you can call Social Security at 1-800-772-1213 and arrange a payment over the phone. Or they will give you instructions on how to send payments in. The next option is to appeal. You can appeal within 60 days, and we'll tell you why you need to appeal sooner. And I'll share that in a moment. And then the third option you have is a waiver. A waiver pretty much is saying that you don't think this is fair, you cannot afford to pay this, or paying it is going to cause you a lot of financial stress. And so you're asking that the Social Security Administration essentially forgive the debt. So let's talk about appeals and how you go about doing that. The first step of an appeal is that, one, you need to do it sooner, because a lot of people think that they have 60 days to appeal, but what they don't know is that the Social Security Administration, after 30 days, if you don't pay the money in 30 days, their collection action starts immediately. So even though you have 60 days to appeal, the collection action starts in 30 days. After 30 days, they will either take all your payments, your future payments, or a portion of it. So if you don't want that to happen, you need to send the appeal within 30 days. And once they receive the appeal from you within 30 days, they have to stop all collection actions until they've made a determination on the appeal request. So here it is. So the SSA will stop recovering the overpayment from the beneficiary's Social Security, your SSI or SSDI payment, while making the decision about the appeal. So this is your right. So it is important, even though you have 60 days to appeal, it is important to appeal sooner. When you file your appeal, you need to be able to state the reasons why you're appealing. And sometimes you may not know the full story. So you may have to call the Social Security Administration or go to the local office and find out specifically how this happened, so that you can then look into the Social Security manual or how you understood the law to be able to write a better appeal letter and explain your situation. But the first thing is that you need to understand why this happened, and the best way to do that is to visit a local Social Security office, or you have to, call them and get an understanding of how this happened. And then you need to fill out a form called Form 561, which is a request for reconsideration. And then once you file the appeal, you need to wait. Patience. You need to wait for about 4 weeks until you're going to hear minimum from the Social Security Administration. And they're going to give you three responses, one of three responses. Either they agree with what you said, and so you won the appeal, or they may request additional information from you, or they may totally reject your appeal. And if that happens, then you may have to file a waiver or get an attorney if you feel like that they denied it and you still disagree with the reason why they denied your appeal. Then get an experienced Social Security attorney to help you file a further appeal. As I mentioned, you can also request a waiver. A waiver is pretty much saying you don't think this is fair or you don't think this is your fault. And so you're trying to tell them that it's going to cost you a lot of hardship if you have to forfeit some of your Social Security benefits or all of it. And so you have to provide evidence of your income and your expenses, and why even paying a small portion of your disability or Social Security benefits towards this overpayment is going to cause you financial hardship. So this is something that you have to do. Take your time and explain, because you are requesting them to forfeit, pretty much forgive the debt. So there's no time limit on filing a waiver. It's always available for you. And so make sure that you take advantage of that. And there's specific ways to go about it if your overpayment is $1,000 or less, or if it's more than $1,000. So make sure that you're filling the right form and using the right process. And if your appeal is denied or your waiver is also denied, you can request a hearing. That is going to go before a judge. So typically you want to get legal representation here, because now this is your final step to try to get this resolved. And there's a lot of things that you need to know when it comes to a legal process on how to present a good case before a judge. So if you're going to do this, make sure that you hire an experienced attorney who does this and understands the way this appeal process works, because you want to be able to put your best foot forward and increase your odds of getting this issue resolved and your appeal, increasing your odds of winning this appeal. So Social Security SSDI overpayment can be very stressful, but as you can see, you have options on how to deal with it. You can file an appeal. You have to do that within 30 days if you don't want collection actions to begin. You can request a waiver, or you can pay it in full if you agree with them and you have the money. You can also set up a payment plan. So if you agree, you can pay it in full or set up a payment plan. So I hope this has been helpful to you. If you have any questions at all about Social Security overpayment or anything about Social Security benefits or disability benefits, ask us in the comment section below. If you've had experiences about overpayment and want to share it with us, please share it in the comments. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe so that you'll be the first to know when we bring information and news updates about things that are happening in and out of Congress that may affect your benefits. So until we see you in the next video, thank you for watching.